Bailey Senator, Wyoming. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, and your ATC. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you've got your gas bottle with your gas regulator on the bulkhead. The gas pipe work coming down to the bottle is a reverse thread fitment, so it needs to be turned the opposite way to a standard thread to release it from the bottle. And then you've got your gas open and gas closed on top of the bottle. So gas open is gas on and gas closed is gas off. Coming down the side of the caravan, you have your wind down leg to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. You only need to have these down when you are on the site and using the caravan. We do not advise lifting the caravan with the legs, as it potentially damage the floor of the caravan. You've then got your water pump connection down the side of the van, which pushes in, as you can see down here. There's an onboard water tank and a hot water tank on board this van, so I'll show you how that operates once we go inside. The pickup pipe drops down inside the after roll itself. You need to make sure this is full before trying to fill the systems up. So like I said, I'll show you how to fill the systems once we go inside. Then got your heating and hot water flow on the side of the caravan. Very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. You need to remove that cover prior to igniting anything on gas inside of the van. Then got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. On the top right hand side you've also got a gas flue for when you're running the fridge on gas. Wheel nuts, we'll torque the wheel nuts prior to the caravan leaving site, and we'll also demonstrate the motor movers so you can see they're working correctly. Got a bit of grey pipe in here to show you how the grey pipe works. So you put your grey pipe into the large diameter holes there, and that is the waste that has been through the clean water system, so the shower and sink, and then down into the waste master that will sit just down below the motor mover. So you put 2 bits of grey pipe in and put them into the top of that connection, and that is your waste water. Coming to the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank. You'll open this up and put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Then at the bottom, you've got your toilet waste cassette, which you pull out by pulling up the orange handle. The orange neck turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette, you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You'll need to put 1 litre of water in this cassette and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the back of the van, you've got your 2 wind down legs to stabilise the van, and like I said, they are only there for stabilising, not lifting. On the door side, you've got a storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear. You've got your battery locker with your 110 amp leisure battery in there, and then your mains power lead coming into the van from the power on site. Going further down the side of the van, you've got a 3-pin socket so you can have power out to your awning, and then you've got the last wind down leg. Going on to the inside now, we'll demonstrate how the inside works. So as I come in the door, on the left hand side, we've got our master power switch. So actually 12 volt power on and off. You've got your 12 volt lighting inside and out of the caravan. You've got your gas locker light for at the front. You've got your voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan. You've got your water pump run. I'm just going to turn that off for a moment. There's 2 ways of running this water system, so I'll show you that in a moment. And then you've got your awning light that's just above the door, which also acts as an internal light. So the first thing you need to do is fill the water system up. Now, like I said, there is 2 ways of using this water system, so I'm going to show you both ways of filling it. But first of all, we're going to need to come through this little panel on the right-hand side floor. And in the cabinet, you're just about here, you're going to see a yellow valve. That yellow valve needs to be parallel with the floor prior to filling the water system up, so as it is at the moment, and upright to drain the water system down. Now, to start with, we're just going to fill directly to the hot water tank on board the caravan, which is this tank just down here. In this front corner, there's an onboard water storage tank just underneath that front cushion. So to fill this system up, you're going to need both the blue tap on the left-hand side here and the blue tap on the right-hand side, pointing towards the outside of the caravan. So at that point, you'll open all the taps up on the hot side, and you do this for either if you're filling the hot water tank or the onboard water storage tank. You'd open all the taps up on the hot side. You'll notice I've already filled the system up. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the water pump run. I'm going to put the switch into the 1 position at the top here, in the upright position. And that will allow the water system to start filling on board the caravan, or the hot water tank to start filling on board the caravan. Once you've got water running out of all of the taps continuously on board the caravan, that even if that is filling the onboard water storage tank or the hot water tank. Once you've got water running out of all of them, you can shut all of the taps back off, because it means the water system is completely full. Now that pump will carry on running for a few seconds after you turn off the taps. It's micro switched from the tap, so it will tell it when it needs to turn on, when it needs to turn off. So to fill the onboard water storage tank, you're going to need to have the left-hand blue vet switch pointing towards the wall on the outside, and then the switch on the right-hand side you're going to need to have pointing towards us. So we're going to turn this valve right around and have that valve towards. Now, as you can hear, as soon as I've done that, that pump has turned on as it's trying to fill up that onboard water storage tank. So turn that back off for now. If you want to run the water system direct to the taps from the onboard water storage tank, you'll need to turn this left-hand valve so it's pointing towards us, and the right-hand valve will need to be in the position it's in now. If you can't remember any of that, it is on the door just down here. So as you can see, van taps from Acroll, so that's direct from the outside of the van, both taps pointing away from us. Taps from inboard tank, so this will run the water system from the onboard water tank. You'll need to have the left-hand valve pointing inwards and the valve outwards, and the right-hand valve outwards. And then to fill the onboard water storage tank, you need to have the left-hand valve pointing outwards and the right-hand valve pointing inwards. Once that water, to fill the onboard water storage tank though, you do need to come to this control panel up here, and you'll need to put the switch on fill at the bottom, and that will allow that onboard water storage tank to fill from the outside of the caravan. Once you have them water systems full, you can actually then come to the hot water system. So you've got hot water on electric on the bottom here, and it'll be a preset temperature around 35 to 40 degrees. Top switch, if you want to run your hot water system on gas, you can spin this dial on the outside here to the flame symbol. The green light in the back here will come on if it ignites on gas, and in a moment we'll have a red light because the gas bottle is not currently turned on. So it'll fail to ignite and that red light will appear. So you can just about see that red light just there, and you can just about see the green light in that right hand side. If it does ignite on gas, you can actually control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees on this dial, and whatever numbers above the green light is the temperature the water heater is going to warm up to. We do advise, if you're on an electric site, to use the gas as a boost to boost the water system whilst you're showering on board the caravan. So that is your hot water systems, electric and gas. Next up, I'm going to take you to the room heating. Now this again is very, very simple to use. On the wall here, on the far side of the caravan, you've got a power switch which you need to have on. So this is your electric room heating. Then above it, you have a dial to select the amount of power coming into the caravan. So the dial here on the outside will either spin to 500, 1000 or 2000 watts. Now here on site we can run a maximum of 500 watts, so I'm going to say it's 500 watts. If you're on a site with more power, then you can set it to the higher settings. The best way of finding out what power source you can run is by asking the site office when you arrive on your holiday. You can then control the temperature of the heater on this dial in the centre between 1 and 9. The higher you go with this setting, the hotter the heater will be. To isolate the heating, you can turn it back off to the off position, and if you want to turn it off completely, you can turn this switch back off here. To operate the gas heating for the caravan, you've got a dial on the left hand side here. You'll spin this dial round between 10 and 9. Hold in the gas valve, and once it's ignited on gas, you'll have a pilot light in this window down the front. Once that pilot light is there, you'll continue to hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve, and you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. At that point then, you can start thinking about whether you want to have your blown air heating on or off. So the blown air heating essentially comes out these vents around the caravan, just below that front drawer area. The dot in the centre indicates the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. The wave symbol on the left hand side indicates continuous blown air, and you can control that fan speed with the dial on top. The A on the right hand side is automatic blown air, so essentially it allows the thermostat to cut in and out with the heating on board the caravan. So if you've got the heating on and it warms up to a certain temperature, and you've got the automatic blown air on, it will cut out and cut back in as it warms up and drops down in temperature. Next up, we've got the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. You've got the dial here on the left hand side. I'm going to spin the dial to the plug symbol, which will allow you to run the fridge on 240 mains, and then you can control the fridge temperature on this dial on the right hand side. If you want to run the fridge on 12 volt while you're towing down the road, so you can use the fridge as a cool box, you'd need to be connected to the car first. You'd spin the dial around to the 12 volt battery symbol here. There'll be no temperature control at that point because it is only a cool box, and then the fridge will kick in. You do not need to have the main control panel turned on just inside the door. If you want to operate the fridge on gas, you can spin this dial to the gas option at the bottom. You're holding the temperature control and hit the igniter at the same time. Once the fridge is ignited on gas, this little red line here will come round into the green. You'll be continuing to hold in the gas valve or the temperature valve on this right hand side. And once that has been running for 5 to 10 seconds with the red line in the green to say it is ignited, you can slowly release the valve, and then you'll be able to control the temperature of the fridge on the dial on the right hand side. Turn the fridge off, you put it back to the off position at the top, and that will isolate the power to the fridge. Microwave works very much the same as your household microwave. Hob, grill and oven, again, work the same as your household microwave, and you've got your igniter on the front as you'd expect to see. You can access the bed storage by lifting up the bed, lifting up the mattress, and that will allow you access to that. Coming through into the bathroom, we've got an electric flush on the toilet, as you can see here. We've got a toilet full indicator light, which will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, so you can turn that seat left to right as you need to be able to use the toilet in comfort. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van, it needs to be back in this central position. And we do advise that you have this waste handle shut again when you are removing that toilet cassette. When you are using the loo, you need to make sure it is in the open position so the waste goes straight into the cassette. But like I said, when you're finished, put it back in the central position. As if you try to remove the toilet waste cassette with that in the open position, it could actually damage the toilet waste cassette itself. So that is the Bailey Senator Wyoming. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thank you for now. Bye bye.